6 years before his Birmingham campaign, Martin Luther King Jr. wrote this sermon titled, "Loving Your Enemies."
Throw us in jail and we will still love you. Bomb our homes and threaten our children and we will still love you. We will wear you down by our capacity to suffer. We will win our freedom.
Sunday morning, September 15th, 1963.
The phone was ringing in the church office. There was a male caller on the other end who said 3 minutes. And as quickly as he said that, he hung up.
At the 16th Street Baptist Church, youth volunteer Carolyn McKinstry was preparing for service.
I paused at the doorway, spoke to the girls that were there, Addie and Cynthia and Denise and Carol, and didn't linger there. I think they were just talking and primping, doing what girls do, combing hair, and Addie's about to tie Denise's sash.
Seconds later, the unimaginable. A bomb planted by the Ku Klux Klan exploded outside the bathroom window.
It was just kind of chaos. Police immediately surrounded the building.
Birmingham had once again become Bombingham.
This was the first point at which I really realized that my parents were powerless to protect me. You came to church, you had friends who by the afternoon were dead.
The lives of 4 little girls stopped at 10:22 a.m. So this bombing suddenly made everybody in the nation wake up.
It was the only one that resulted in the death of 4 people, the death of 4 little girls here at our church.
Andrew Young recalled his own anguish after hearing the news.
I was so despondent and depressed. We knew that church. That church was where we had meetings.
King had used the church's pulpit to recruit participants in the struggle for change in Birmingham. In the initial plan for the campaign, known as Project Confrontation, the last line on one page reads, "Pray that we can come out alive."
Martin said, you know, when you go to Birmingham, somebody's not going to come out.
But Dr. King didn't anticipate innocent children becoming the movement's martyrs.
Most of those days, he was in a deep depression. The heaviest burden of leadership is the death of your followers.
Martin felt that he had to go to Birmingham right after that because people would blame him.
There were many people that did not want him to come back. People were angry because they felt that he had come in and created trouble for the people that had to live here.
Dr. King presided over the funeral of 3 of the children.
He was a very disciplined preacher.
God has spoken to me.
And so if he was going to talk for 15 or 20 minutes, he spent 15 or 20 hours working on it. But that's when you have a whole week. He had a couple of days between the time of the bombing and the time of the memorial service, the funeral service.
Before delivering the eulogy for the girls, he wrote down some final thoughts.
The innocent blood of these precious children of God say to each of us, we must substitute courage for caution.
It was one of the few vivid times, one of the times where I observed tears and crying as he was speaking.
When faced with such despair, Dr. King relied heavily on his faith.
In spite of the darkness of this hour, we must not become bitter, nor must we harbor the desire to retaliate with violence. No, we must not lose faith in our white brothers.
Martin would say, death is but a comma that leads us into a new eternal life and that allows the spirit to escape from the body.
His civil disobedience was predicated on a profound belief that more powerful than the march of mighty armies is an idea whose time has come. Justice is an idea whose time has come.
2 months after the Birmingham bombing, another funeral, that of John F. Kennedy, and a new president, Lyndon Johnson, who would make civil rights his priority in honor of Kennedy. That next summer, with Martin Luther King looking over his shoulder, President Johnson signed into law the first major Civil Rights Act in nearly a century, banning segregation in public places, forbidding bias in job hiring. It would stand as a memorial to the 4 young girls who died here and everybody else whose sacrifices helped awaken the conscience of a nation.